This week on the show, we're back after our 3-week break. We're going to be talking about our reactions to some of the things that came out of PAX, including the interview that Mop published from Mike Z and the 11-foot griffin in the con. We're back in a Gord-y groove on Shadow of the Dragon. Welcome to Shadow of the Dragon. This is episode number 62.
62? We did 61?
We did. That was me, you, and Levy.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
That was a month ago. We're back. We are back. And everybody's asking already. We took a break off we took a month break for a reason. I needed a break. I was getting way too salty again. I felt that it was time to kind of rebrand the show, move in a different direction. And while we were discussing that, Miko has decided that she's going to take an extended hiatus. She might be back from time to time, but the show right now, Miko is a professional in everything that she does, and she was having a hard time keeping up with the move to pretty much across the state and everything else. So for right now, she's taking a break.
Across the country.
Yeah, across the country.
Yeah, across the country.
It's state, country. What's the difference?
About a continent.
About 2,000 miles. So, but anyway, Miko might be back from time to time. Right now, she's just chilling. So she's here in spirit.
Well-earned chill, too.
Yeah.
Well-earned chill.
She's still on her Discord and stuff. She has an open invitation, much like we did with Kora, and she'll use it when she feels like it. So no Miko, but you have us three again. We're back. So what you guys been up to? I'll go last, and don't ask me about WoW, please.
5-7. 5-7.
Gallios,
5,
what's
6
been
and a
going
half.
on in your life?
No. What games have you been playing?
Me? I have been playing when I have a chance. I have 2 games I've been playing. One, of course, is Guild Wars 2. I am still a World v. World junkie. I played even just before the show started. Even though fighting, 2 hours before reset is basically pointless, I went and did it anyway, picked up supply, did all of the prep, get ready, practiced a couple of new things, played a couple of new weapons. And I've been playing some Tesso with Tiso, however you want to call it, with my friends from Lorecasters podcast. Haven't really jumped into any group content yet with them, but they send all kinds of fun things to me. So I played some of that, and it's fun. It's it still hasn't been able to replace my Guild Wars 2 World v World addiction, but it's fun. So, but I haven't played as much as I'd like to. But when I have played, it's been fun. I run around with HZH. They run about 4 or 5 times a week. So now I've got a group to run with since we only go on Sundays. So and then they've been following my tag on Sundays. That's what's really fun.
Yeah,
they followed my tag last Sunday, so that was fun.
Yeah,
so been having a good time.
Anything else? Anything huge?
Growing a beard.
Growing in a beard.
Because the wife thinks that Jay Bush from Bush's Baked Beans is now sexy because he has this big bushy beard, and she wants me to grow a beard. I told her I can't envision big and bushy. I said I'll get it, but it's gonna be it's gonna be Gallios military style clean cut.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's gonna look nice when it comes out. So, but she wants me to grow a little bit of a beard, and my buddies company, Who's Your Daddy? That would be JB's company. Who's Your Daddy Beard Company. So if you have a beard, look it up online, buy some stuff from him. He's pretty cool. He sent me this T-shirt. So anyway, that's the big giant announcement news. That's all I got.
All right, Kora. Kora, what have you been up to?
Nursing a severely sprained ankle.
That was me. What? That was me about a month from now. A year and a half
month ago?
A year ago.
Okay. Oh,
or
yeah.
A year and a half ago.
Something like that.
Something.
I
like
mean,
that.
I'm able to walk. I was able to walk on it within a few minutes, but I went out for a run and I had bought new Bluetooth headsets. They were little buds, and then they had the over-the-ear thing, and I hadn't used them before. So I was running, and when the buds are in your ears, the hooks over the top of your ear weren't adjustable. And I guess my ears are small because they kept popping out. So the whole run, I'm fidgeting with them, trying to push them back in. And at one point, I was fidgeting with them and paying attention to them instead of the path in front of me. And my left foot came down on a pine cone, and my right foot was already off the ground. So I rolled my ankle quite severely. Luckily, there was a car parked on the street just like a couple feet away. So I hit the car, caught my balance, and was able to slowly go down instead of like flipping. Right? It looks something like this. and then down. And the pain that was instant was crazy. I was lying on my back on the sidewalk, and instantly I was like, okay, this hurts. So leg in the air. I'm lying there, hands over my face, trying to think like, and the only thing that kept going through my head was, I think I just broke my ankle. I think I just broke my ankle, and I'm going to have to call the housemate to come get me. And it was a few minutes before I was like, okay, calling on like the first aid training of like, okay, let's take stock to see how bad this actually is. Can I wiggle my toes? Can I move the ankle? Eventually I was like, okay, I can move it. I'm not screaming in pain. Let's try to get up. Getting up when you can't put pressure on your ankle is fun, let me tell you.
Yes, it is.
So eventually I was able to get up, and I started to walk, and I was like, okay, I can walk. It's tender, but I'm walking on it fine. And I was using the Runtastic app. They have like running plans, and I was like 2 minutes short, like before it was like, you don't have to run anymore. So I started running, and I ran those last 2 minutes because as according to my friend Anna, I am a badass. So I finished it off, walked it in, immediately iced it, and the next 2 days, from about my both knees down, all the joints hurt because when I rolled that ankle, my right foot, which had been in the air, came down so hard to try to like counter that I think it just jarred everything. Yeah. So it's still tender, but I've gone on a run since then, and as long as I don't tweak it just right, like I can forget that it's bruised still. So that was my personal adventure.
Yeah.
So you really lost your chance to shine with your crouching tiger, hidden dragon thing. So like the pine, you didn't like tippy toe on the pine cone and
no. That pine cone won that battle for sure.
Damn pine cones.
Well, I am sorry you got hurt, darling.
Hey, we've all been there.
I'm so sorry.
We've all rolled
you know
an
what?
ankle.
Got kicked in the nuts once.
We've all rolled ankles, but like I feel like if there was a tracker for how many times I have rolled my ankles in my life, I for sure win. I posted a meme, and like the severity of this was so like I have to laugh at it. If only for the fact that I found like the best meme ever, where it's like the I don't always do something, but when I do, that guy
in the world.
Yeah, that was a great tweet, by the way.
Oh yeah, it was. I don't always roll a joint, but when I do, it's an ankle.
That was a great joint. That was a great
Not
one.
a joint.
Yeah. So that was my personal. That was fun, and then I've recently found out that I have to be moved out of this guest bedroom my friend's been letting me crash in by the end of May, and my current job contract ends at the end of June, and then I'm like, I was gonna let you know that as far as continuing with the podcast, I'm gonna do my best, but my housing situation is going to be up in the air.
Yep.
In about a month. So I may not be able to hit every episode.
Yeah.
It is too, I love my daughter. Too bad she moved back in the house, or else you could have had her room. You could just move to Louisiana.
I mean,
try to find it. We've got a couple of software companies here.
You got to push that bird out of the nest sometime.
She just came back.
She just came back.
No, I'll figure it out.
She flew back.
Yeah, we've kind of been through this before.
So, yeah. But as far as games, I've been playing a little bit of Guild Wars 2, not a whole lot, and we can get into that later. But a lot of Tropico 5.
I've seen that.
I love Tropico. I have been a fan of the Tropico franchise since the first game, and it is not like Guild Wars 2 at all. It is real-time strategy construction management.
Wow.
That's like...
I've tried it.
Wow. Gal Gray.
What?
I love Gal Gray. So, this is hot off the press. It just, I mean, it's saying it was from 1:01 a.m., but I just got the tweet on it. I don't know, but there's been a lot of confusion. There was a big ban wave that came, and it was for third-party software, and there is some third-party software that is legal that Chris Cleary went on Reddit and talked about, namely ArcDPS, provided that it stayed in its current iteration, which didn't have any kind of memory reading error abilities or anything like that. But anyway, 1,516 account. Oh, wait a minute. 1,583 accounts were suspended for a period of 6 months. 1,516 accounts were suspended because we detected that the accounts were running Guild Wars 2 at the same time as one or more of the following programs over a significant number of hours during a multi-week period earlier in the year, 2 months to be exact. So they targeted the programs that allow players to cheat and gain unfair gameplay advantages, even if those programs have other more benign uses. So now what the complaint has been is nobody knew what they were doing. Gail just gave us a list. So the programs that were detected were Cheat Engine, Napster, GW2 MHR-EXE, UNF, and MMO Minion. The remaining 67 accounts also received suspensions for a period of 6 months because they were directly associated with one of the 1,516 accounts and also had one or more of the previous suspensions related to botting or hacking. Those suspensions will be reversed. And it does go on and more. And, that's great. I understand why they don't want to make these things public, but I kind of didn't like and I tweeted about it today, but a lot of people were kind of like just putting the weirdest stuff out there. Like people come up with the weirdest excuses, but it's really good to see them, communicate like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Breath of fresh air.
It is, and great. And you know what? If you have a program running called Cheat Engine, maybe you shouldn't be on Reddit complaining about being banned. I'm just saying.
Figure.
I mean,
go figure.
So
brainless.
Whatever.
You mean that cheating isn't acceptable? What? Rude. Yeah.
Good for them. I love to see. I'm not gonna lie. I love following drama. I love it when people are like, "Oh no, I was innocent. I didn't do that," and they're like, "What? Pow! No, you were this and this and this."
They slam a big book on the table.
Exactly. It's like just smack them in the
all stuff.
Like
ArenaNet brought their receipts.
Like some of the anime, you get like they get smacked and they get the big red egg that goes rant. Right. That's what it reminds me of. So it's good. It's good to see. So those are
the big
list.
hashtag looking things.
People have to understand, and I'm sorry, people have to understand. Taco and ArcDPS have been cleared by Chris Cleary on Reddit, on official forums, I believe. And the first thing that people went to was, "Oh my God, was it Taco? Was it?" No, it wasn't, because they're cleared. And ArenaNet's not going to ban you if they tell you something's cleared. They're going to put that update out, and then they're going to give you a time frame to allow people like our podcast and the other podcasts and news sites and everything else to kind of penetrate the masses. So you'll have about a month if something changes with that. If you're not comfortable using something, don't use it. But Taco has relatively been very safe since its onset, and the people behind ArcDPS are trying to keep it very, very safe and working with ArenaNet. So don't worry about that stuff. That's your list. It's on the official forums. I'll throw a link to that in show notes. So good job, Gail. Thank you.
Yay.
Thank you, Gail.
Thank you.
All right, where were we?
I don't know. I was just talking about played a bit of Guild Wars 2.
Rolling an ankle and in a joint.
Rolling a joint.
Rolling the ankle. I'm going to do my best to keep being on the show with the housing. You guys are crazy. I'm just ignoring you.
I'm excited, man. This is the best holiday in the world.
I have to go to the doctor on 420.
I just signed up for life insurance, and I'm really hoping that the nurse comes before 420. I'm really hoping. Not for any particular reason. But I am hoping.
What have you been up to?
Well, I will not speak of that, which shall not be named. But I have done that.
Okay.
But I've actually been pretty aggressive in WW for the past couple weeks.
Yes, it was very, very refreshing.
I got off my warrior. I've been doing a lot of soul searching with Guild Wars 2. And a lot of it is I hate Spellbreaker. I've come to terms with that. It is very, very effective in
group
WW play, but I don't like it. I don't like running it. So I've been running a Power Holosmith, and it is pretty fun. It's really fun.
Awesome.
I'm dependent on the group for speed and for heals, but other than that, I switched out. I used flamethrower instead of they were using whatchamacallit? Not grenade pack. They were using the wrench, the toolkit, which was weird, which I don't like. So I threw in. I used the elixir gun and the flamethrower, and it's a lot of fun. I've
never been a fan of the elixir gun.
Well, for the heal, I use it for the heal and the escape poison. And
it was nice.
Poison gas, yeah. So you run with you have your healing turret. So you have F1 is a heal, F2 is a Condi cleanse. You have the number 5 elixir gun, which is also a heal, Condi cleanse, and a lot of DPS. And then when you get your heat up and start using the weapon with your forge activated, it's pretty freaking sweet. I like it. So.
Interesting. I did like the heals, definitely, that you were throwing out that night, and I love the fact that you were actually calling heal. Fixing to drop a big one.
Yeah.
I still need to work with Gallios to figure out World v World, but I will say for PvE, I love my Holosmith build. And I'm running equipment that that was built for raid, not my raid armor, but like I just love throwing on my gear that I had before and going out there.
I'm using Exotic Marauders Guild gear with Berserker trinkets, and it's like 6 runes of the pack, which are like 2 silver a pop. Yeah, and that was our militia build. So it actually works really well. The thing is you have to skate around the outside. And I'm so used to being a warrior that I want to run right into the front line, and I can't. So you have to skirt around the thing. But what's nice too is I have S elixir, so I can stealth myself, and then or I could shrink myself, or I could throw it on the ground and stealth up to 5 people, which is also nice. So it's pretty good. And then Cajun Cujo brought up that Deadeye build, so I'm gonna start playing with that for roaming and havoc.
Yeah, I created a monster.
We're gonna start an assassin squad.
Yeah, I created a monster. I sent him the link. I sent him the link for that.
I'm gonna build it up.
Video in the build, and he said,
"Yeah, I'm gonna build it."
And he just went and teased people all day.
Both of you playing more, that means I'll start playing World v World, and eventually, someday, probably 5 or 6 years from now, I'll finally get the Commander Spoon drop.
You know what's terrible?
You know what's good too is I'll give you my build. I'll help you build the Marauder set that you need, and we can run that build together.
Gallios did send me armor. I just haven't gone in and.
She just needs she needs Marauder gear. Did I send you Marauder? You don't remember?
Yeah, we'll look at it.
I don't remember.
The build works great
today,
because
too.
all you have to do is spray. You spray your fire. You spray. You throw up the flame walls. You spray your poison when it's appropriate. You just get as many condies out as you can, and then if somebody breaks off and tries to solo you, you switch your forge on, and eat their face. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, we had a blast.
I think Marauders
last Sunday.
is account bound shit.
No,
I think it
will
is.
work on
That's hot.
To build it. If you build it and try to send it, yes.
Yeah, but you can't buy it.
It's very hard to find anywhere.
Yeah.
So
We'll
I think what I sent was I sent soldiers to start.
Hey, I mean, I'm all for anything that gets me that stupid spoon.
I can teach you how to play warrior. Then you'll get the hits.
Do I have a warrior?
Just need a hammer and a greatsword. I can train you how to do warrior. It's not hard. It's not hard. Just don't die.
I might have to make a warrior. I've never played warrior.
There you go. I got you two heavies. I got you two heavy frontliners now.
Or you could start with a ranger.
You could start with a ranger.
The ranger can tag quite a bit.
We'll have her play. Well, that's true for tagging up. That is true for tagging up. But Ellie is not. I've never had much fun playing Ellie.
Same. My primary ones was first I did my engineer, who's still my primary that I love playing, and then I did a necro, and I dabbled with the guardian a little bit, but then when Revenant came out, Revenant stole my heart. So
I still love Revenant.
It looks good, but I've never got into it. Okay, so we got a 20-minute intro. So let's get into some of the stuff. The biggest thing that I wanted to talk about this week was PAX East.
I wish I could have gone to that.
I could have gone to it, but I figured who would want me there?
If you see this guy, don't let him through the front door.
I'll come through the front door. You ain't stopping me. I got a ticket, damn it. Anyway, it was very interesting. I was super surprised. It was like a soap opera. It was like a big emotional ride because man, if you show up at a con with an 11-foot griffin, you are winning. You are freaking winning. Awesome. But you know how you screw that up? You Not show up at a con with just an 11-foot griffin. So listen, don't get me wrong. It was still impressive, and I put it out on Twitter. I didn't have a problem putting it out on Twitter. It was very nice to see the marketing team because you have to remember, I'm the guy that thought that they were showing up with a video screen with the friendship thing on loop, and I'm like, nobody cares about that. They're gonna throw carrots at you or whatever else they want to throw at you. But no, they showed up with an 11-foot griffin. It was pretty sweet.
It was magnificent.
I feel like they did that just for you.
They may have, but what they should have done. And I don't have a problem saying what they should have done. And I'm not knocking them for what they did do.
You've never had a problem saying what they should have done.
I just wish, and there might be more to the story. It could be, I'll admit, it could be that, maybe they didn't have an actual booth and they couldn't set this stuff up. But it's very
was the booth and the Griffin took up the whole thing. Because I do shows all the time.
Dude.
And you have limited space.
Freaking way.
Just letting you know.
No. No. There was plenty of spot to put up 2-3 PCs with a demo playing. There was plenty of room for it. They didn't even have a merch table set up.
I'm just telling you, when you buy booth space, you're put inside of a. I know because I have a booth.
That's
that
fine.
I'm going to Monday.
You can have a booth.
You buy,
and if that booth is 12 by 12. And you put an 11-foot
and you have an 11-foot griffin in it, where are you going to put everything?
The 11-foot went that way. It's not 11 feet wide, bro.
But did you see the front to back, how big it was?
Yeah, that's 11 foot. That's one side of it. That's one corner of your booth. I will volunteer my services, ArenaNet. I will come show you how to pack a booth.
Oh.
I am efficient.
It's not Tetris.
Okay, first things first. Y'all need to get this griffin out of here.
The only thing that they could do better, and I hopefully I'm challenging somebody at ArenaNet. I will not say another word if they show up at PAX South with a freaking raptor. If they have a raptor and a griffin, winning. That's straight up winning right there.
That would be cool.
That's Tiger Bomb.
I don't see them doing it because having gone to PAX West the last several years, the rideable things in booths are becoming very popular. And ARC every year shows up with like a giant T-Rex. And I think last year they had a raptor. Somebody had a raptor. Somebody had a smaller thing. So I just don't see Guild Wars going like, oh, well, they've got a raptor. Well, we've got our version of a raptor. Like, no, the Griffin was a better bet because it is so different.
Well, the Griffin is unique, yeah.
Yeah. So
but,
they're
I was happy to see. I was very happy to see the Guild Wars 2 Path of Fire banner up. I was very, very happy to see that there was no friendship video playing on loop. But I do have to say that I wish that there was a little bit more there. Some PC stations, Living World trailers going off on a 42-inch screen doesn't take up a lot of space or something like that, But you don't know how constrained they were. It could have been, that this was just a small space or whatever. I'm happy to see the freaking Griffin there. It's a start.
Yeah, that Griffin was amazing.
It was. I was like, holy crap, I wish I went, I couldn't get the weekend off. And I'm going to Miami next week. Woo! Party!
Oh, I thought that was last week.
No, buddy.
Oh, so you're going on vacation next week?
The 24th, I leave. Oh, yeah, so the next show's canceled, by the way, because I'll be in Miami not giving a rat's ass about Guild Wars 2 or any podcast. Sorry, being honest.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. If I was going to be in Miami around all those, beach people.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're taking one day to go out to Key West, and then we're taking the other. We're driving out to Key West, and then we're taking the other day to walk the 4-mile boardwalk. The other thing I wanted to say, where I really felt that ArenaNet marketing was nailing it, was to help get people to take the pictures of the Griffin and put it out on social media. They did a nice contest, and usually you see like, oh, well, you can get this many gems or that many gems. They were actually giving away cash prizes for up to like 20 people. I think they gave cash prizes to. There was one $500 winner, I think 2 $300 winners, and like $25 or $50 winners. I don't remember the exact numbers, but I know top prize was $500. And Age from Talking Script was the first one that I saw tweet out the Griffin thing, and that's
his was awesome.
Where I was like, holy crap! I was like, you're either really small or that thing is freaking huge. And then Malthanis tweeted out that it's about 11 feet long. Wow. So it's amazing. Good job at PAX.
Yeah.
Anything anybody else want to say about that?
I want one.
I thought, how cool would that be in the backyard?
Right? Yeah, no, and I'm sure it's going to be at PAX West, so as long as I'm able to go to PAX West, I will get to see it.
Alona's here. Hi, Alona. Yeah, Ages was cool. There's a couple really cool ones out there. The one, they took a picture of Ruby and like all the staff hanging out in front of the Griffin and kind of feeding it. Bobby Stein was like stirring up. It was pretty cool. I was actually, like I said, I was really amazed to see it. Really, really well done. And that's what I want to see at PAX. That's really good. That's really good advertising, And I know I get on them for the friendship program and stuff like that. It's not my cup of tea. This is more my cup of tea, but whatever, man. That was, in my opinion, that was a pretty strong start to the con season this year, and I was glad to see it. So the other thing that came out that we want to kind of go through was Mike Z did an interview with Massively Overpowered, and it's kind of weird. I think if I recall right, it was Massively OP that did the interview with that shaman, but then kind of wrote the article as they were paraphrasing their experience of doing said interview. Like it's a different it's a very different way to do an interview. So anyway, we'll have that up, but a bunch of stuff came out. So the first thing of course, Mike Z, you bastard. He is, because me and Levy a month ago were going off and trying to get everybody hyped up about an Xbox console port for Guild Wars 2. And what did he do? Nope. No console port. No new races. No new professions. We're going to stick with the masteries. He took the hype and he kicked it in the stomach and knocked it on the ground and then just pop 2 in the back of the head just like that.
No false expectation. No.
No, I like it. Yeah.
No false
expectations. He's like, nope, we're not letting this boulder go down the hill. So that was the first thing that stuck out to me. But there's a lot of things in this interview that were kind of, I don't know. I was disappointed to hear that that there wasn't going to be a console port. At least it's not something they're looking at now. And what's funny is when I was having the argument, not really argument, I was having a discussion with a couple friends, and I quoted a article back from 2010 or 2011, I believe it was, where Mike Z was was interviewed, and he was talking about how they wanted to go onto Xbox 360, but Microsoft's update schedules or their update procedures was far too extensive. They couldn't do it because of Living Story that was going through. So it was pretty cool. Did you guys read this?
So no, I couldn't find it.
Hold on, let me drop a link in chat.
This week I spent numerous hours driving my vehicle.
Yes, you did, sir.
Numerous.
I read 2 books a day.
You kind of had to. I see your little stack going on in the background there.
I don't know what you're talking about.
All right, so
look, you don't even know. I had to take a trip to my storage unit and drop off 3 boxes of books already. God. Okay, so
the other thing that I pulled out of this really quick, it was very, and I need to find it, but Dovik picked up on this too. There was a bit of talk about them tweaking the engine.
I had heard
and
in game.
I want to find it
in game the same.
Fractals. Well, I do have to say too, fractals are not serving as a good replacement for dungeons, my friend. I am sorry, Mike Z, but they are not. Shame on you. They're good, but I miss dungeons. I miss dungeons.
So do I.
So
I miss dungeons. I was thinking about that the other day.
I have never not thought about it. I don't bring it up because it was one of those things where it's like they're never going back to doing dungeons. I'm like, but they were cool.
They're not. Fractals, I mean, I don't even know. They do kind of have a point that but they don't, because let me scroll back up. It's like fractals are more dynamic or something. The way fractals, meanwhile, are serving as a good replacement for dungeons just by successfully creating a back-end of reliable, repeatable content. You don't wind up running the same routes over and over. There's already a structure for rewards and progress, and putting in new parts makes for a new experience without invalidating the old. The core is still the same. Fractals just do all the things dungeons did, but better. I honestly don't agree with that. I don't either. I don't agree with that statement. Yeah.
Like I'm wondering if I am missing something, because he's like, oh yeah, their dungeons were, you're just doing the same thing over and over again, whereas like fractals are unique each time. I'm like, no, it's the same exact fractal that it was the last time I did it, whereas the dungeons have different paths I could run. Like I feel like I'm missing something.
It was the story too that kind of got delivered through there, because I mean, it's Saul and Doom ending up as lore in the raids is good, and I think it's an appropriate place for them. But I do think that Doom and even Saul showing up in Wing 4, I think that's an appropriate place for those stories. But like, you could toy with a bunch of different things. You could tell a lot more story in dungeons. So Fractal's story has improved, and I think what is attracting to them is they don't have to impact the world map in order to plop a fractal in. They can put that off somewhere else in the mist or wherever their fractal maps rest, you know.
Fractals don't, and they don't have to like the fractals don't connect, they don't interweave.
Yeah.
They don't connect with anybody outside of the fractal world.
Yeah.
The fractal lore, they are almost entirely separate from everything else that's going on. Whereas the dungeons were connected with the personal story. Like, you got this dungeon activated at this level.
Yeah.
So, like, theoretically, that's when you were supposed to go play that dungeon to find out what was going on with, you know, Destiny's Edge characters. And then there was the different paths you could run. And then when they did the Aetherblade, was it Aetherblade? Twilight Arbor,
they added that on.
Yeah, so they were, it was connected to the living world in a way that fractals aren't, and I don't see them ever being. And it's sort of a disappointment because I really liked it. Like, and there were those it dropped plot lines. Like, what happened to the sword from, was it Ascalon? You go and you find Alburn and you get the sword fragments, and Air's like, I'm gonna go fix this, and then I'm gonna give it to Logan, and like everything's gonna be happy. And then she's dead.
She's dead, and somebody has it. And I think that has to do with that kid that was, I forgot the kid's name, but the kid was like, but I had my uncle's magic sword. I think that's Magdare. It could be.
I don't know. I mean, it could be. So.
But that I didn't agree with. I really don't. I wish. Excuse me. I wish that we still had dungeons.
Yeah.
I like dungeons.
I did too. And I still would like to get back into raiding. I had fun when I was doing the raiding with people, and Tankin and all the others that helped me build this cool armor set, and then life, and then I couldn't, and now people really aren't doing it. So I'm like,
yeah.
But like it's gonna take me a long time to get good at raiding, to get through it and see the whole storyline, and the raid is not one of those things where it's like, okay, let's sit down and play from the beginning to the end to get the whole story in one go. Like,
you can get there. It takes practice.
It takes a lot of practice, and I just don't want to do it.
Yeah, I know. To be honest, I gave up on raids. The payoff isn't there for me. Alona did say the last arc in Fractals was great. It was. I had a lot of fun with that. That was probably some of the best story that came out.
The Fractals are getting better.
I never had a problem with them. I just like dungeons too.
For me, my thing was, I'm like, well, this is interesting, but like, how does it connect to other things? And the last few Fractals have connected a bit better to the world outside of Fractals.
Yeah, but I mean, it was cool, but how many times can you pull this is how it happened in the past? You know, I mean, how many times can you pull that? That's fine. But the thing that I was looking for, it was towards the end of the article. It says, last but not least, he talked a little bit about some disappointments with how Path of Fire turned out. Obviously, the team is happy with the expansion as a whole, but he does feel like some of the item rewards were a bit too heavy. On the crafting side of things, there are lots of rewards that don't necessarily feel as rewarding as the equivalent ones in Heart of Thorns. He also would have loved to have done more multi-tier armor upgrade like the one found in the Silverways, but that wasn't quite in the cards. But as a whole, Zadrajni Z, and the team is happy with the player response to state of the game. He's glad players continue support. I'm totally reading the wrong article. Here's the one I wanted to read. He did mention that some of the big shifts in Season 4 were a result of programmers going under the hood to change parts of the underlying game engine, as it has expanded beyond what was originally intended for the game, so plans can always change. Dun, dun, dun. And Gallios has left the building.
Gallios is not okay with these changes.
No.
He's going to go write a strongly worded letter.
Why? These are this thing here, that statement really
Gives you hope.
it does. It
Fills
does.
you with rainbows.
The thing of it is we're going to talk about another game. Warning. This is about Elder Scrolls Online. Elder Scrolls Online is releasing another game chapter called Somerset, and within that they have upgraded their engine to actually handle multi-core support, which is not a big thing in MMOs. So
That's
something exciting. So like you, me, most people have at the very least have a dual core processor. Quad core is actually more common nowadays. And as Dovik said, the chapters are what they call their expansions. But anyway, Guild Wars 2 is optimized for a single core processor, so it only runs one processor. Now, there's a lot of debate about this, but some people have said if there's multiple core processor support, what they can do is put the main AI on one tier. They can move NPC AI to another stream on the second CPU, and maybe something else on the third, and so on and so forth, and basically just increase the amount of computer power that you have powering the game, giving you better frames per second, giving you better graphics, and so on and so forth. So this stuff gives me hope for that. I always like to hear that they're playing under the engine. I really kind of talked myself into believing that if they were doing a Microsoft port to Xbox One X, that would be a perfect time to do some kind of upgrade to the engine.
All I'm saying is if they're upgrading the engines, screenshot tools.
Yeah. Well, what it comes down to is Guild Wars 2 is a pretty game, but Guild Wars 2 is not really that pretty as it was. It's starting to show some wear and tear around the edges. When you have to use a third-party program in order to get graphics to look kind of modern, you have to look at that. So it gives me hope that they're doing something. WoW is implementing... That which shall not be named is implementing a DirectX 12 coming in their expansion that shall not be named. And as I said, ESO is building in CPU support. So it's really not that outlandish or that hard to see some kind of change to their engine, And that's all I hope for.
I mean, better graphics would be awesome. I like pretty graphics. Screenshots are a big thing. Black Desert Online, I've talked about it before. Their screenshot tools system is crazy good.
Yeah.
And console games have jumped on the bandwagon too and recognized, people just like taking screenshots in our games. So what was it? Horizon Zero Dawn. People were posting amazing screenshots from that. I think even
Monster Hunter.
Monster Hunter. Didn't Assassin's Creed Origin also do screenshots? They
did some weird slow-mo effect that looked really, really cool. But I mean, I don't.
Yeah, so
I was more into setting corpses on fire.
The ability to be a player playing the game and take really good screenshots, people just have fun doing that. And if your camera system isn't friendly for me to go in and I've got to fiddle with all this stuff, and like I've said before, I can't ever get the camera to drop low enough to get the angle I want, or the full character.
You can drop your camera.
You can, but not enough.
You can fix your vertical access. You can drop it to where it's down to the floor. And just
but the problem is then if you for me, I'm telling you, I can't drop it low enough because depending on where my character is, if I've got her on a rock or something, or the angle I'm trying to get, the way I'm zooming in, I wind up losing the bottom
part of it.
Yeah.
Just to back up too, Transfly said the GW2 is still miles ahead of WoW. You just need a high gigahertz Intel quad core, and that is true. And I do have that. I have an i7 It's older. It's 4790K. It's overclocked to 4.8 gigahertz. But kind of where I'm coming from with their graphic engine is that I went from a GTX 970 to a GTX 1080, and I actually lost frames per second in Lion's Arch, which was crazy to me. So it's not optimized for it, and why not? You know, people that are into that, people that make those graphic engines and know what they're capable of and what they're not capable of, definitely know a lot better than me. But I would love, I think that if you took Guild Wars 2 and put it in an engine like BDO, Guild Wars 2 would be the MMO, period. It would definitely be the most gorgeous MMO because it's gorgeous the way it is on DirectX 9. And you know, with a limited engine, it is a gorgeous game.
I'm not gonna lie.
I wish for it.
Artwork wise, I'm blown away all the time by it. If we had an engine that could really showcase that artwork, it would be awesome.
Yeah,
I'm big into artwork.
I think about how fantastic the graphics are in Black Desert Online. I'm like, oh my god, if my character, like with the Guild Wars 2 style, I'm not saying I want to switch to Black Desert Online style, but Guild Wars 2 style with the smooth graphics from BDO, like, oh snap, I'd never not be playing.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. So
maybe that's on the way.
It could be, but they
got to be working on something soon.
Yeah,
because
when you hear them doing it, it
got a couple of more years maybe before they announce.
That depends because
the next upcoming thing.
They could do well. I mean, I'm starting to side with Hunter from hosts of Ascalon that nothing's coming to E3. Maybe they're just going to be there to say hi with. With a griffin and a raptor and possibly a springer. That would be really cool. Maybe that's all they're doing. But why not hope for that little spark? That's something that would freshen up the game because, I use Reshade or GemFX, or I think it's actually GW2 Hook now is the current iteration. I do use that. It makes the game look pretty. But
you keep trying to get me to do them and I'm like, meh.
It's so easy to do. You would love it because it does clean up the game a little bit.
I forgot to reload it on this new PC.
You should.
I totally
so scared
forgot.
of breaking my computer.
It's not.
Like I know you say
it's not hard at all.
I know you say it's not hard, but you don't understand the degree to which I break technology. Okay.
Don't do that to me. Quad, don't do that to me. I want to believe that nothing's coming because you know what? I believe that they weren't doing anything at Pax East and they blew my socks off with a damn griffin. That was awesome. But Quad is saying in chat that you don't even get a spot at E3 if you don't have something to present. So I do think something is coming. I think it's more like I don't know. I don't know what it is. I think it's more likely to be a Joko expansion this year. I think it will be. I can't think of anything else. I thought of the console port, and Mike Z said pop pop. Nope, get out of here with that. So exactly. So it's like I don't know. Maybe if I just keep throwing stuff out there,
something will stick.
I'll say, hey, they're announcing the engine upgrade. That's what we're going with next. Engine upgrade. Everybody talk about it. Engine upgrade, and we'll see what Mike Z comes up with in his next.
Here's the thing, like. You could throw out exactly what they're going to do, and unless they feel like confirming it, they could be like, nah, bro, we're not doing that.
They could. And, Guild Wars 2 could definitely be a game that's around for a lot longer. It's hard to tell what... Because you know what? I don't want to make it sound like they don't have highly polished content. They are releasing highly polished content right now. They are. They're releasing it quickly and everything else, but the problem is with every update that gets pushed out, even now sometimes with the Gem Shop updates, with everyone that gets pushed in, it breaks the game, and that's due to something, The mobile app is still a possibility. That was my first choice. It's hard to say, but for them, if they would have had to be working on the mobile app for some time, I would imagine. So I don't think it's going to be Polymock Battles, though. Yeah,
it's going to be amazing, whatever it is.
Yeah, and mobile apps do equal funding, because how much did Lineage 2 make?
Lord have mercy.
Made $480 million in Q3 of 2017, and I think Q4 2017 it still made like 200 and some odd million dollars, $600 million in half a month, or half a year. I mean, that is something. BDO is releasing a mobile platform. PUBG just released a mobile platform, which actually runs surprisingly well on an Android device. So
I'm just saying, people have been underestimating the power of mobile games for a while. Not you, but like there have been plenty of people that it's like, oh, mobile games don't count as like real games, and I'm like, I just counted. I'm like, in my little Apple iTunes folder, I was like, how many tabs do I have? How many pages? I've got 7 pages of mobile games. Okay, this is
but how
my
many of those are
player.
like choices and like?
None of them. I have
Really?
Life is Strange. I have Oxenfree, Don't Starve, Grimm, Mini Metro, Marvel's Guardians, Severed, Road Not Taken, Walking Dead, both seasons. I do have some narrative games on here.
Okay, I knew you did. You look like a narrative game girl.
Yeah, I do have some because they're fun. But I also have Reigns Her Majesty, Inside.
Okay. I got your point, Kora.
Yeah, I can keep going. So I have a variety of mobile games, and they're not all just.
Would you say you had a plethora?
I have a plethora of mobile games.
Do you know what a plethora is, heavy?
It's almost equal to her books.
I have a lot of fun with them. I have a lot of fun with them, and I.
Does it mean you're more than famous, El Jefe?
Shut up. Okay, so I will say that sometimes when I'm looking at the mobile game, I am one of those person where my first inclination is like, oh, $4.99, that's expensive for a mobile game. But then I'm like, no. If it was on Steam, I'd be like, $4.99 for my PC, what a deal.
Right.
So and I'm like, okay, let's buy it. This is my handheld. People do their Nintendo handhelds or whatever. This is my handheld.
I bought Titanfall 2. Xbox had it on sale it was $39.99. Xbox had it on sale for $6.
I got it on Amazon for PC for $4.99. Sucker.
Shut up, sucker.
All right, so the last thing we're gonna tackle.
Uh-oh.
What were they? The Astani Mount Select licenses?
I didn't see any skins that really called to me.
That's good. I do want to say and give credit for the fact that yes, there is a choice, but it's like Kora said, if there's one skin that you want, you're good. If there's 2 skins that you want, you might want to consider just unlocking them all, because 2 skins equals 6 skins. 1 skin is 3 skins.
What?
Okay, so you can buy the RNG chance for, what was it, 400 gold or 400 gems, right? Or you could buy the selection for 1,200 gems. So 1 guaranteed selection is equal to 3 RNG choices.
Oh, okay.
You see what I'm saying? And out of 15, and then coming right after that is the. I have to say, you are in a bad place when you're at a point where you feel you have to skin your gathering tools.
Okay,
that is a bad place to be.
No,
I'm sorry.
No, I'm gonna step right in there and we're gonna nip that right in the bud.
No, you can't.
I saw that and I was like, thank God, because I do have at least 3 characters fully decked out with with the gathering tools, the permanent gathering tools. And I have gone on there and been like, oh, new gathering tool, what is it? Oh my god, it's amazing, and like have to have it. So now the fact that I can reskin them rather than go, oh, well, I bought one of the dream log whatever gathering tool, and that's on my necro, but I'd also really like to have it on this other character.
Look, I just want to say real quick, I get it, Ratha. People have asked for this. People have asked for it, and ArenaNet has come through for them, and that's good. And if you want it, that's fine. But to me personally, that is not a good place to be. That's one step away from waking up in the alley with
all
a crack
saying
pipe
is
in
that
your
it's
hand.
called Guild Wars 2, not Gord Wars 2. So
it's called Guild Wars 2, not Fashion Wars 2. Dude.
No, I mean that's the subtitle.
It's not though.
That's the subtitle.
Not officially.
It is a thing. Like if you're gonna put this skin in there, the skin feature, whether it's the kites or it's your mounts or it's your gathering tools, and I've paid money for it as a permanent thing.
Hold on. It is $12.50 for a skin for a mining pick. If you want the full set, it is what? What is that? That's $37.50.
Okay.
For a set of mining picks that you're going to look at maybe.
You said it was $39?
It's $12.50 per. They're in the gem shop right now for 1,000 gems.
Okay.
That's about $12.50.
Oh shit, that's a lot of money that I've spent.
I buy nothing.
I
buy nothing.
Did the math. So here's the thing. Considering how much money I've spent to almost fully deck out 3 full sets, permanent sets, on 4 characters.
Well, it might not have been the same.
I'm so glad.
I don't know what they were priced at before. I wanted to say that the ones that Dovik is talking about, because Dovik did say, to be fair, you had to buy the pick. You weren't getting the skin, but now you have the skin if you did.
That's the thing. I went in and I opened up each of my characters so that like the wardrobe would recognize I had all these skins, and it's not a matter of like, oh well, it's great for the people or whatever, or like I only have 2 skins, so like what does it matter? I have like 3 or 4 different pick skins and axe skins.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. I understand that, but and Transfly did say still not as bad as the $80. It's still not as bad as the $80 lightsaber and sword tour, and I agree with that. Yeah, but in gaming in general, when you look at gaming in general, I can tell you that just playing PUBG, I sold 3 skins in the Steam shop for $15, and I was able to buy Divinity Original Sin, the Enhanced Edition, that was on sale for $11.98 by playing PUBG. Now, for me, that's great. That's fun. But also to me, that is insane. This is, I got $10.52 for a digital jacket. For a digital jacket.
All I'm saying is that people can spend their money however they want to spend it.
But
I don't think that's the argument.
That's not the argument.
For sure.
People, please spend your money. Go ahead and spend your money. But what I'm saying what I'm saying is what it comes down to is these are digital things that people are paying crazy amounts of money for.
I had to stop my son from doing it in Fortnite. Look, I like my son. Oh, well, my son kept coming. He's like, Dad, can I buy V-Bucks? And I was like, okay, well, you got to do X, and X. You got to clean your room, or you got to fold your clothes, or do whatever. Well, I looked back because you have to put it on credit cards. He makes cash. He does odd jobs with his aunt or whatever, and he'll bring me the cash and he'll say, Dad, I want to buy V-Bucks. And I'm like, okay, you can buy some V-Bucks. I have no idea what he's using it for. He's not using it for anything, because whenever I looked at the bill, the last bill I saw was $70. I was like, $70. So I came in and I said, hey, son, what are you buying? And he goes, well, check out this cool outfit. I was like, $70?
Yeah.
So I was like, so let me ask you a question, bud. You playing better with that on?
Yeah.
You feel better.
Gallios, look, no offense, guys. Totally. Fashion wars is a thing. I get it. And, I'm not trying to talk down to anyone because y'all know that's not me.
Yeah.
No. Stop.
Go ahead. I'm
sorry.
that's
not me.
I'm
That's not
riled
me.
up.
But I do have problems myself. And what I do worry about is where those kinds of things might be taking advantage of some people. And, that's the only things I ever worry about. And as long as it's not purposely trying to dupe someone into spending that much money, I'm okay with it. If people want to spend their money, it is totally up to you to spend your money on whatever you want to spend it on. I don't. That's why I told Gord. I said, everybody's been out of shape about it, but me, I guess, because I don't buy anything. It's like, you look at my guy, he just looks like the dirtiest piece of trash you've ever seen. The only thing I ever got was my Mistward armor because I earned it.
Yeah.
I went out and I did all the things I had to get to do it. I didn't spend a dime on my Mistward.
The thing is, go ahead, Kora.
Oh, I was gonna say, well, I get where Gallios is coming from, and I can agree from that point of view of like, yeah, people are getting taken advantage of, getting lured into spending more money. That I understand. Like, I don't understand why, like, gold and gems. Like, well, why don't you just go buy money? And like, if you're trying to say like, oh, well, it's a localization thing, it's easier because we're in so many different countries to have it as like you buy the gems and whatever your currency is, and here's what it's worth. But like, even that, I'm like, I feel like that's like kind of a weak argument. It's designed so that you don't know how much money you're actually spending.
Yeah,
like, oh, I buy $800 gem, $800 or 800 gems. That's this much money, but then I have to convert that into gold, and or whatever, or like this outfit is 600 gems, but now I've got 200 gems left over, and I want to buy another thing, but I need 200 more. Yeah.
And when Guild Wars 2 first started, their gem shop was not like that. Their levels of gem prices directly correlated with something you could buy, and that changed. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. And Transfly has a point too, because for some people, having that outfit gives you better kind of self-esteem and allows you to play better in game. Mm-hmm. That's not how my head is wired.
It's mine.
It is, and people are like that, and I'm not trying to talk crap about that. I'm definitely not trying to talk crap about that. I don't, and I think it should go without saying that nobody here is saying you shouldn't buy this stuff. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the shaman is in gaming in general, not just Guild Wars 2, because we can have the arguments and we can have the comparisons across the board. In gaming in general, it is becoming ludicrous to me what people are paying for. And I don't mean, I shouldn't say what people are paying for, but what game companies are trying to get people to pay for. And if you, specifically to Guild Wars 2, if you feel that there is not a direct correlation with the reduction of content that we're getting, free content, and the increase of premium content, we are now, by my count, we are officially at weekly updates for the gem shop, which is okay. That's great. Shake it up. That's fine. It's not my cup of tea, but I have to wait 3 months to have that piece of content that I can get through in a couple days. So, and that's just my experience with Guild Wars 2. My experience with Elder Scrolls Online is, holy crap, their crown shop makes Guild Wars 2 look like Salvation Army. Like, seriously, like thrift shop, like penny store. Seriously. So you can compare everything back and forth. My only gripe with Guild Wars 2 is if Guild Wars 2 implemented a voluntary subscription program like SWTOR did, like ESO did, I would sign up today. No questions asked, no problem. I don't even care what it gave me. But I can't bring myself
free
to pay
gems once a month,
whatever it
or
is.
something
I don't
like
care.
that.
I don't care if it's a pat
crowns
on the head.
And ESO.
I don't care if I get a special emote. I don't care if I get a special title. If I had that avenue to pay for, because I can't bring myself to pay $25 for a mount skin that I might not be using a month or two from now. It's just how I'm wired.
The Chinese Guild Wars 2 already has that.
Yeah, they do, and they have this weird. Yeah, no, Transfly is right. It's weird. Like, you get additional waypoints. You get you can access your bank from anywhere. the longer you're in the program, you build up points, and eventually you just get a free precursor and some other stuff. So, I not necessarily that. Like I said, I don't care if ArenaNet said, "Hey, pay us $15 a month, and every quarter that you're subscribed, you get 400 gems, and you get a special title, and you get every node in your home instance while you're subscribed." I would do it. So that's just how I'm wired. That's just how I'm wired. I can't bring myself to pay $25 for a skin.
So, especially, if you were a subscription member, though, would it I'm like, well, because they're still gonna have the gem store and outfits and things in there, but would they be discounted for subscription members?
PS Plus does that.
Okay.
You get 40% off a game with PS Plus. Even something like that, a discounted system. Even something like ESO does, where for you,
ESO gives you 1,500 crowns a month,
which comes out to about $3, I believe, somewhere around there.
So it's sort of like a discount.
So you get a $12
but it's not barring you from the actual gameplay. It's not like you have.
You do get some bonuses. You get a crafting bag. So all your gathering materials are infinitely stored.
I can still go and play the living story, and
no,
with all the stuff if I don't have the subscription.
You have to buy Kora. You have to buy their chapter, which is their expansion, and if you're not subscribed, you have to pay for DLC. But if you because they do have DLC.
How it operates right now, I bought all my expansions.
The equivalent would be you have to buy Pathfire and you have to buy Heart of Thorns. But if you were a premium member, you would be able to play all the Living Stories, minus Living Stories Season 1, obviously, but you could play through any of the Living Stories for free. If you were not a subscribed player, you would have to pay to play the Living Story.
Yeah, but I'm saying, it would... Playing the game would operate as it is right now. I wouldn't have to pay, for, WoW, if I want to play anything, access my accounts, go in the world, get to endgame, I'd have to...
You lose a crafting bag in ESO. So ESO, you have an unlimited crafting bag. So as you run, and it's really a big deal.
It is a huge deal.
It's a huge deal because they don't have a lot of bag space. So if you don't, and you need a lot of materials for crafting. So if you have that alone is worth the price of admission for the sub. So.
Yeah.
And with the 1,500 crowns, it works out to about $12 a subscription. It's not.
It's not horrible.
Yeah, but I'm just trying to think if Guild Wars 2 was going to have any sort of subscription box, I'd rather it be the monthly subscription boxes, like Loot Crate. Hey, here's this cool thing that you can get this month, and it's just a bunch of cool little knick-knacky things that you paid for. Yeah. But it's not going to take away from the core game if I am not subscribing and getting the digital Guild Wars 2 loot box.
I believe if there's any company out there that could design a very fair, not pay to win, no advantage to non-sub player subscription model, it would be ArenaNet. I believe they're the only company that really can.
I agree. I'm just saying, if they switch to subscription to play the game, whereas if I didn't subscribe for this month, I can't play, I can't get in and access the content, I'd probably quit Guild Wars 2.
Well, you would still have Kora, and you would still have your expansions.
For me, this past month, I've not been playing much. I've had a lot of other stuff going on, and I've been thinking about it a lot. But if it was a matter of oh, well, that was a waste of my money because I wasn't on the game, hardly anything, or oh, well, I have to cancel it, and oh, well, now I want to play, so I've got to resubscribe.
But
no, I'll just go play
that
something
kills me. Dovik just said in chat that pay to play would kill Guild Wars 2. I don't think it would. I really don't think it would.
Optional
could work. Optional could work, but I believe that Guild Wars 2 can implement a system similar to ESO and it would still be successful with the current gem shop in place.
Dolvik is saying pay WoW.
Oh, no sub, no play. Yeah, that would kill any game aside from WoW. Absolutely, no sub, no play would kill any game.
Especially if you've already been a no subscription game like Guild Wars 2, like Guild Wars the whole franchise. So many people got into it and are still into it like me because we don't have to do that monthly subscription. You don't have to buy gem store items. you don't have to pay anything except for like the core games and the expansions. Like I said, I have been a faithful fan since the original since the original game launched. But if they suddenly said, "Oh yeah, now we're going to charge monthly subscriptions," I'd be like, "Well, it was a fun run. I'm going to miss y'all. I'll keep an eye out to see if you go back to free."
No, I mean a preferred player or a premium player, or there's different ways that you could say it. I don't want to say preferred player because that would
different games call it different things.
Exactly. But a higher tier of player that has an optional stuff. And my thing is, I'm just saying that if Guild Wars 2 implemented it, I would pay it. I would sub. All right, so I think
I would too.
I think that's pretty much everything we want to cover. Anything from PAX and any recent events anybody wanted to bring up?
None that I could think of.
All right, let's close out the show.
Yay!
All right, Gallios, go ahead, hit me.
Oh, yeah, I gotta read it. Crap. I'm unprepared.
What are we reading? Is it review?
We got a new review.
Oh.
Well, I should say I got a new review, and I have plenty to say about it.
Hold on.
Do 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 do.
Damn
it. No, not ready.
I didn't know if I was reading it or not. Sorry.
I mean, you can skip it if you want to. I really don't care.
I'm pulling it up now.
I feel like we should read it. We read every review. So we will read this review, and then I will comment and respond in kind.
Okay. So we've got our first 1-star review.
Woo! Yeah, and it's all my fault, bitches.
So this one comes in, Cool It on the Negativity by Raw1705. Trying to keep this one above the belt. I used to have fun listening to you guys, but recently it's become enough that I have to put something here. Gord, people are coming here to hear about Guild Wars 2, but the first 15 minutes of the last several episodes has boiled down to how much better you think WoW is. I'm sure it's a great game, but why here? On top of that, I'm pretty sure the ratio of negative to positive comments you make about the game is something like 10 to 1. Constructive criticism is cool, and it's fine to get sick of a game eventually, but letting all that negativity loose on the community just makes it so I warn my friends to stay away from the show. It stings a little bit, but we're gonna
it stung you.
Turn it over. Yeah, I'm gonna turn it over to Gord because he does run this show, so
I'm just gonna
he has the podium.
I'm just gonna say, and I believe that I said this many times on the show. I do not try to compare WoW to Guild Wars or Guild Wars to ESO or ESO to SWTOR or anything like that. Since Mount Gate in November, I became very disenchanted with the game, and what I had done was taken a break. Now, I'm glad that you gave me this review. Even though it's 1 star, that's great. But it's also great to know that you don't really listen to the show fully, because if you did, you would realize that I have said several times that I'm not saying that Guild Wars 2 is any inferior or WoW is any better than Guild Wars 2, because you can't say that. What I did say is that there's certain things that I don't agree with that the company is doing. I've been a fan of this game for 15 years. I've played since 2005 in Guild Wars 1, and I've dedicated a lot of time and money to this podcast on my own because I enjoy doing the podcast. And it's funny that the review came in when it did, because when we went on break, Gallios, we had a meeting, did we not?
We had a heart to heart before it even came out.
What did
so
said team
it's
meeting
very
do?
Strange.
Anyway,
in the team meeting, Gord was saying, I gotta back off. I'm backing off because I want to enjoy my game again.
And we talk too much about WoW, and that's not my intent. So I understand fully that people do not want to come and have their ear holes filled with what they deem negativity. But the way I am wired is that if I see something, I will tell you how I feel about it. Good, bad, ugly, or indifferent, I will tell you how I feel about it. And it is my honest opinion. There's plenty of podcasts out there with a different opinion, and there's nothing wrong with that. And what we've tried to do with this podcast is build a panel of players that are on each side of the coin to represent all sides. With that being said, I do understand people don't like negativity, and I do get riled up.
Oh yeah.
But it's only because
He's
of
like
my
an angry
passion
little
for this
hedgehog.
game. Yeah, I am. Take your knees out. But I'm very passionate for this game. I wouldn't be here right now if I wasn't. And, you know, I apologize if I come off as negative, but what I won't apologize for is speaking my mind. And that's all there is to it. So I'm sorry if you don't like the show. There's plenty of great shows out there. I encourage you to listen to them. I encourage you to listen to them all because I do. I love the Guild Wars 2 community.
We all listen to our fellow podcasters.
But you have to admit that there has been a lot of sudden changes that have not really... I just don't agree with them. I don't agree with the monetization plan. I see things differently, and that doesn't mean that I'm right, but because people don't agree with my opinion also doesn't make me wrong. So that's it. We're all here. Thank you for the review. If you hate me, let me know because it'll only make me better. That's just how it goes.
I mean, he feeds off of the fires of other people's flames. Like he's just.
I love it.
I thought he handled it really, really well. Actually,
I mean, hey man,
I was waiting for him to flip out when I sent it to him this morning.
I thought he was too.
Dude, I am totally serious. I am surprised that we have done this show for 2.5 years, and this is the first one, the very first one that we got.
That wasn't a troll. That wasn't a troll.
That was a troll. That was a troll. Oh, and to the guy who gave me a 5-star review with the /S in front of it, the previous review. Thank you for giving me a 5-star review because it doesn't tally as a 1-star review. So you should be like, what was his name or her name? R Hall?
Hold on.
Be like R Hall and just give me a 1-star review. I mean, it's just
Raw 1705 gave us the 1-star. Morgan 190 gave us the 5-star with the /sarcasm.
We are the newest up and coming WoW.
The best up and coming WoW podcast available.
So, see, you want to piss off a Guild Wars 2 fan? Just drop the WoW bomb. That's it. So anyway, I'm not going to apologize for anything. I'm not going to talk about WoW as much because this is a Guild Wars 2 podcast. I do like the game. But I've also purposely removed the news segment from the game because I don't want to filter through the stuff in Reddit bothers me. It really does. A lot of stuff.
I'm not going to lie. You've been sending out show notes since like my first episode, and they always had news in them. And I think I looked like the first time and then went, nope. And you keep sending out the show notes with all the news, and nope.
But the thing of it is to pull that news. I mean, some of the news is easy to pull, but to pull all that news, you're going through. You know, I mean, come on. I went to Reddit today, and you know what? The number 2 freaking post on Reddit was somebody made a Sylvari out of a freaking dandelion. Okay, and that's cute and all, but you know, number 1 is like the Bandgate drama. Number 2 is the Sylvari. Number 3 is I drew a picture because my dog farted. Number 4 is, you know, whatever, and it's like fluff. And
I'm just saying, I'm glad you finally came over to my side of things and just nope.
Yeah,
there's too much. I'm like I don't necessarily care unless it is something big or like affecting the gameplay. Like for me, big news was like, oh cool, gathering tool skins now, so like we can talk about that. But like as far as Reddit and all the deeper stuff, I'm meh.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, there's some things that I get overly worked up about, and it's only because I love this game deeply, and if I didn't love this game deeply, I wouldn't be doing this podcast. So anyway, I'm not gonna drag it out. Thank you so much. I appreciate you giving me this review because any review, whether, you know...
It was constructive.
I don't know if it was constructive.
Well,
it seemed to me he was a little mad that I mentioned WoW.
It was a little, I mean, that's fair. That's fair for them as a fan. They're coming here for Guild Wars 2, not, you know, he's in their mind, I don't want to hear about that WoW stuff. I just want Guild Wars 2. But they weren't an asshat. Like, it wasn't full of cussing and like name calling and stuff. They were just like, I don't understand why you have to be so mean and salty and talking about Guild Wars
but
WoW, and like it was constructive enough. It wasn't
constructive, absolutely. But the thing is because you don't agree with my opinion doesn't make my opinion salt. Is just my thing. If I'm coming out here and saying Mike Z ate a baby at Pax East, and I have pictures to prove it, that is salt. That's something that should not be done. But because I don't like the monetization strategy, and I believe that they could do it a better way, I mean, that's just my opinion. That doesn't make me wrong. That's how I look at it. And I welcome it.
I will continue to try and counter your salt with my sugar.
There you go.
For a well-balanced show.
All right, what else do we got?
Sweet, creamy icing, but that just did not sound good. Let me start over. I'll be the something between the both of y'all.
That's gross. Anyway, anything else?
Give myself nightmare thoughts.
I don't get into that stuff. Anyway, anything else, Gallios?
No, sir.
All right.
I'm good. I do want to say thanks again. If you missed the beginning of the show, Gallios is growing a beard. My buddy Jibs over at Lorecaster's podcast, the TISO guys, they're Mog people. He hooked me up with my cool T-shirt tonight, and I just kind of wanted to shout out to Jibs. Thank you, buddy. I really appreciate it. Didn't have to send it, but it was really cool. You thought of me especially, so I appreciate it.
All right,
that's my shout out.
Kora.
Let's shout out to Tox, who's being extremely patient with me because we've been talking and life has been interfering in so many ways. So thank you, Tox. You know what I'm thanking you for. That is all.
Gord, what about you, buddy?
Huh?
Any shout outs?
Shout outs. Nothing specific for anybody except that I'll be on vacation next time we record. So even though we're back this week, we won't be back in 2 weeks. But that's not a bad thing because I'm going to be in Miami.
Miami.
So we'll be back in. Well, maybe we'll talk and we'll do something the week after I come back. We'll figure something out. Keep your eyes peeled to Twitter.
Yep.
All right, so Kora, if the good people want to get in touch with you, how can they do that?
I am on Twitter at GuildLores. I'm also on Instagram at GuildLores and Twitch at GuildLores. Discord, I am Kora, #2568. And in-game, you can find me at southofneptune.6254. Gallios?
You can find me at Gallios_GuildWars2. Or GW2, I should say. You can find me in game at Gallios.8142. And if you want to reach me on Discord, it's Gallios #3334. Gord, no. where can the nice people
you can't
reach
call
out
on
to
me yet.
you?
My cheat sheet is gone. Oh my god, I gotta do this from memory. All right, so if you want to get in touch with this show, you can reach us at SOTDpodcast@gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter at SOTD_podcast, and you can find everything you need to know at SOTDpodcast.com. If you want to follow me, it's at Gord-y on Twitter, and it's the other places that I cannot think of because my cheat sheet disappeared. And I blame Miko. So, yeah, just, I don't know, come on Discord. Gord.a654 in game. Look me up. I'll be running my Hollowsmith Gord the Builder in PvP, or no, in WW with Gallios. I'll probably be in there soon.
I am hitting reset here in a little bit to meet HDH. Sure.
I'm helping Wedge with some dungeoning, and that shall not be named. Hopefully Ratha will be there too, and maybe a little Garaz action.
Yeah,
all right, guys. Yeah. Thanks for coming out, and stay tuned to
Thank
Twitter.
you to the chat. Thank you, chat, for being here tonight and providing us with extra fun.
Yes. And I'm getting out of here because I got a dungeon to run.
All right.
Later, peeps.
Bye.
Later, everybody.